Now, let us consider a series of events taking place in the last couple of years. Sometime between 2016 and 2017, the erstwhile diocesan secretary, Reverend D. John Milton, approached the KIADB and voluntarily surrendered the commercial property attached to our church. In fact, this deed brought in a lot of praise in the media. Shortly after this, a Gazette notification dated 16/3/2017 by the KIADB was issued notifying, among others, 3,556.542 square meters of land for the Vellara Junction metro station. Subsequently, on 30th January 2017, the Diocesan Secretary, Reverend Milton, and the Treasurer, Mr. R. Jagdish, jointly signed a letter enclosing the copies of the land documents. Subsequently, on the 12th of July 2017, Reverend Milton wrote to the Special Acquisition Officer at KIADB claiming that the name be changed to All Saints Station instead of the Vellara Junction metro station, which eventually was not considered. Now, amidst all of this, it seems like there was some hope when the bishop sent a notice to the KIADB. The hope seemed all lost if we go through the content of the notice drafted by the bishop's lawyer, Mr. Natraj. It starts off with a rather stern authoritative opening, but divulges by giving the BMRCL or the KIADB three other recourses. It is regarding the permanent acquisition of the Arpana school. Well, let us see what the three recourses are. 1. Let go of the entire permanent acquisition there. 2. The permanent acquisition is marked a couple of meters inside the compound and request that they move the permanent acquisition to the edge of the compound. 3. Take the presently marked area and the additional area in the corner as permanent acquisition. On 28th June 2018, all the correspondences were handed over to Mr. Gerald Theophilus. On the 13th of July 2018, a letter from BMRCL was addressed to the Diocesan Secretary, intimating him about the amount of land in total marked for the permanent acquisition and temporary acquisition. Now, on the 16th of July 2018, the presbyter in charge and the secretary, Mr. Harinath, wrote a letter to the Special Acquisition Officer at KIADB requesting them to drop the temporary acquisition and at the same time sought for assurances for the well-being and security of the church. To which the BMRCL sent two letters, both signed by the same person, a general manager in the BMRCL by the name Mr. Mahmood. One dated on the 12th of November 2018, addressed to the KCD with a carbon copy to the church giving details about the acquisition and saying that the acquisition cannot be dropped. Also added that as per the secretary's request, they have agreed to move the piece of land right in front of the church to the side. Now, the very next day, another letter was addressed to the secretary, Mr. Harinath. As per Mr. Harinath's request, the BMRCL has considered the same and moved the small piece of land to the side. On the 30th of September 2018, a general body was called and the church members were informed of this metro station coming inside the church as temporary acquisition. This was after the congregation noticed markings in the church compound and questioned the PC about the same. During the meeting, it was made clear by the presbyter in charge that all attempts have been made by the bishop and the church to safeguard our church from the temporary acquisition. On 30th March 2019, a meeting was arranged by the PC, facilitating the congregation members to speak and address the bishop. The bishop gave time of about 3 weeks for the congregation to try their luck and save the church land. When the congregation members tried to get back, no appointment was given by the bishop, neither was he answering calls. The congregation members also tried to meet the padri, but he asked them to speak directly to the bishop. On the 10th of April 2019, a resolution not to part with the temporary acquisition was passed by the pastorate committee, then thereby handed over to the BMRCL via the bishop. We are to this day still waiting on the acknowledgement for the resolution from the BMRCL. Subsequently, the congregation members went to meet the bishop directly to his house afterwards. On the 21st of May 2019, the congregation organized a silent protest inside the church, and this was covered live by a number of TV channels and the printed media. So happened that on the same day, the district forest officer, Mr. Cholrajappa, along with the BMRCL, tried to come into the church campus for a survey. This was rightly stopped by the padre for want of permissions. The next day, that is the 22nd of May 2019, a few junior engineers from the BMRCL entered the church to mark, to which the padre had no objection to because the bishop had given permission telephonically. And the congregation stopped this marking for the want of the statement of purpose, identity, and representation. They had come to carry out this drive without any paperwork, neither were they accompanied by any forest official. It is important to note that when the resolution was given to the BMRCL ED threatened us that he would acquire the land permanently if the temporary acquisition was not agreed to. That very afternoon, the BMRCL MD mysteriously gets a congregation member's phone number and tries to sort out the whole issue. He called a few members to his office for a discussion. But by the end of the conversation, the MD was convinced to come and address the congregation in the church itself. And the meeting was fixed for the 29th of May 2019. On the 28th, the MD cancels this meeting.